the whole system is going to be replaced with this.
It is possible.
Because, as I said, the technology in the latest phones, the newest phones, and sometimes new technology is old technology, right? The latest phones have 4 cameras on one side. You have 4 cameras here. And when they take a picture, they take a 3-dimensional image and shot. And the latest of the latest, some of the latest cameras can actually do very, very similar to what X-rays are. So in the future, you will actually be able, this is crazy and dangerous, you will be able to X-ray yourself with your phone.
Yes.
And I'll tell you why this is important. This is important because when you have an accident, you will be able to take a picture of yourself and send that picture digitally to a doctor or a nurse or a hospital, and they will be able to analyze it and tell you if it is serious, if it is not serious, is it broken, is it a fracture, do you need to go to hospital or not?
Yes, I understand, yes.
Technology evolves, right? The horse became the car.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Or you can even argue the horse became the bicycle, and then the bicycle became the car, and then the car became the plane, and the plane became the rocket, and what we do know is that a lot of the technology will be remote technology. So you or doctors of the future will not work from a specific office. They'll work from home.
Home, yes.
And data will be sent to them. You know, the future cameras will have temperature sensors in them. So, you know, you will look into the camera and the doctor will get that information from there. Not only that, but the doctor will get the data from your phone about your exercise, where you were, what you did, who you had contact with.
Everything will be there.
Well, I almost everything, right? Like 90% of information will be there, and so the doctor will have your complete file. They will be able to see where you were. In some cases, they will be able to see what you ate. Yeah, and the future level of analysis with this is that you can get home testing blood sample kits. Well, that'll all be connected to it as well, where you'll take a little sample of your blood, you'll put it in something in your phone, and it'll analyze it and send the data. We're very, very close to that technology right now. I think in the next 10 years it will become completely normal to do things like that. So a lot of these tests and assessments will be done remotely, and even beyond that later, but this is going further down the road, 40, 50 years, operations will be remote as well. That the doctors will work with robots to...
It is possible now too.
Yeah. We're in sort of the stage 1 of that technology right now. So it's it's very interesting how it will develop, and there's and that's just a small percentage of like the whole medical system, where there's a lot more to health than anybody really understands, and we have to think about blood and development and speed of growth and healing and the different ways that we can speed up the process. The process is there, and we also have to think about is it good to speed up the processes because of all the side effects, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If you think about it this way, if you speed up the process of life, the only thing that happens is you get to death faster.
Yes.
And so maybe it's not a good idea to have the body healing and repairing itself faster.
It is a revolution, industrial revolution in medicine.
Well, it's a nanotechnology revolution, and what people don't understand about the past is that all wars are a result of technical innovation. Now, war is, I mean, there's the people who want power and wealth and money and control, and that's all in the human ego. But what allows a person to get those things is technology. Is technology. Every time there's a technological advancement, there's a war for power and control. So whether it's you're creating cannons or ships or guns or tanks or planes or nuclear bombs, every time there's a new piece of technology, there's a war for control of the technology, because the technology leads you to power, money, wealth, fame, and all the things connected to human ego. And what we have right now is a huge advancement in technology where everything is basically nanotechnology. And what we are living in is a nanotechnology biological war scenario, basically, right now, where and it's hard for people to understand, because in the past, war was visible. You could see the war. You could see it. You could see the planes and the bombs and the soldiers and the guns and the tanks. You could see it all. Well, now it's not visible. It's invisible, because it's nanotechnology. It's so small that you can't see it. Maybe it's in the pills you get from your doctor. Maybe it's in your food. Maybe it's in the air. You get nano dust particles, right? Right?
I hope that no.
But these things are real. All of these things exist. Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, we've got biologically engineered mosquitoes, right? That's nanotechnology. Right. So we've got bioagriculture, and I don't mean bio as in natural. I mean biotechnological agriculture in terms of genetically modified organisms. That's biotechnology. That's bio warfare, because you've got your organic banana and your genetically modified banana, and so this is the age that we are in right now, where there is a fight for power and control of these industries and this data and this information, because with control of this technology, you can control a lot of what happens in the world and a lot of what people will do. And if you look at the films, the big Hollywood films over the last 10, 15, 20 years, there are a lot of them that integrate this technology and people in together with this idea that sometimes people call transhumanism. And transhumanism is this idea that technology, or the Silicon world,
Silicon Valley.
Well, Silicon Valley is one of the centers of this research and culture. But it's a culture of people who believe that it will be possible to integrate the silicon digital technology and the human being together to create transhumanism. And the first stage of that will be within the next 10 years. You will see the first stage of that because every person will be split into two. You will have your real self and your digital self. This is what is happening right now with social media, digital technology, digital avatars, all of the collated and collected data and information from your phone. Like it doesn't matter if you post or don't post information on the internet, your phone still collects all your data and all your pictures and everything anyway. And these pictures will be used to build up a digital self, and that digital self will have to live in a digital world. It's very similar. There was a film that came out 2 or 3 years ago called Ready Player One, and it was about the lives of people in the digital world, not the real world, but the digital world, and how people basically had two lives. They had their life in reality and their life in the digital world, and it's a little bit crazy, but that's where a lot of the technology is going, and the nanotechnology is at a crazy level now, where you can almost you can program little micro technology chips to go into the body and perform operations.
Yes.
Which was, science fiction 30 years ago, but
Now it is possible.
But now it's very possible. And also connected with that is the ability to have more non-invasive technologies for medicine. Yep. So more non-invasive technology. So the doctor won't cut you and open you. The doctor will scan you and will program the nanotechnology in the body to repair you.
I understand.
Which is very powerful and very dangerous.
Dangerous, yes.
Because the power to cure is the power to kill.
Yes.
And if this can be done remotely from another place, it's there's potentially a level of danger. We have to be very careful about that, and we have to be very careful about the power that the big technology companies have, because we know for a fact that the big social media companies, Google, who own YouTube and other platforms, and Twitter and Facebook, who own Facebook and Instagram and other platforms, we know that these platforms don't tell the truth. We know that they don't tell the truth. They have, naturally, they have plans, missions, agendas.
Yes.
They have partnerships with governments and political organizations. And so some information will be visible and some information will be invisible. And these are the people who will have the power and the technology and the control of certain things. The Microsoft, a very powerful company. A lot of, and Bill Gates has an interest in medicine. Because there's a lot of money. Money is a form of control, but only if you are not moral. Only if you are not moral. If you are moral, then money does not control you or influence you. You can have money and not have money. It's a person's choice what they want to do. Yeah, and money can be very useful, practical, very helpful. It's nice to have something that you can share with other people. So all those elements are good. So as always, it's not the thing that's the problem. It's the person. Right? It's not the medicine that's bad, it's the doctor, right? Right? It's people, absolutely. It's absolutely. It's and people are at the core of everything. It's people who build society. It's people who are the politicians. It's people who design and build the cars. A lot of cars are built by robots now because robots do it better and faster. And positives and negatives to that as well. But think about all of the people who maybe want to study to be a nurse or a doctor right now. And then think about how the technology is going to change everything. The big companies are not going to need doctors and nurses in the future.
Yeah.
Because well, yeah.
Technology without.
Well, yeah. This is. The phone will be, the technology in the phone will be more accurate. It will be more objective than a person, and so when you even when you use mammography, it's a machine telling you what the problem is, right?
Yes.
You program the machine and you analyze the machine and you study the machine, but it's the machine telling you
Yes.
there is the problem, right? And we will only experience more of this. There will only be more of computers telling us where the problem is. You know, if you have a problem with your car, you take your car to the garage and they connect it to a computer, and the mechanic doesn't know, the man in the garage doesn't know where the problem is, but the computer tells him where the problem is, and then the man can go and fix it. So we are already getting a lot of our direction from technology. The technology is telling us, the technology is actually telling us where to go and what to do in order to make something better. Every day, people ask the internet questions. They ask Google questions, or they ask other search engines questions. The fact that every day we ask the internet questions. How do I do this? Where should I go on holiday? What was the 100 Years' War? What was the Battle of the Roses? Tell me about Napoleon, whatever. Every day we ask the internet questions. We don't ask people, we ask the internet. And the internet gives us answers. And then our actions and our thoughts are a result of the information that we get from the technology. So the technology, for a lot of people, the technology is controlling people's thoughts. Because let's take a very simple example. Let's say I ask the internet, how many music albums did Frank Sinatra make? And the internet tells me Frank Sinatra made 10 albums, right? And then my brain goes, okay, Frank Sinatra made 10 albums, and I program that information into myself. Now, what if the internet is wrong? What if
it's not true?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Either A, it's a mistake, a natural mistake, or B, it's a manipulation.
Maybe no.
Now, I know for a fact that there is already manipulation of information. I can go onto Wikipedia and I can find information that I know is not true.
On Wikipedia,
Yeah.
it's different information.
Yeah, I know. I can find pages on Wikipedia that are not true. That are not true. Now, I know that because I have interests in subjects and I read a lot about it, and then I have conversations with people. And somebody says to me, and here's the problem, right? Somebody says to me, that's not correct, and I say, okay, I say, okay, how do you know that's not correct? How do you know? And they send me to a Wikipedia page, and they say, read this. And I read this, and I know for a fact it's not true. And here's the problem. You can't criticize it, and you can't talk with Wikipedia about the problem.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And people then are programmed with the wrong information. With the wrong information. And it's not just it's not just the wrong information, it's also missing information.
Definitely.
Yeah, or something important is not there.
Yes.
One word can change everything.
Yeah.
She wrote 5 books on history. She wrote 5 books on Marxist history. You change one word. You take out the word Marxist, and the whole picture, the picture is different.
Yeah.
The whole picture is different. And that's a real example, by the way. That's a real example of something that I know happened recently. So and so we are not getting our information from teachers, which is good and bad because teachers can make mistakes. Like I make mistakes every day, right? So there we go.
Me too.
Yeah. But now I'm 45. I'm okay with a lot of my mistakes. I'm like, okay, I make mistakes. Okay. Yeah, don't kill me. I make mistakes. I'm sorry. Right. So we're getting our programming, our education from machines. From machines. Not just from people, but from machines. In the past, you could go to a bar, a club, a restaurant, a theater performance, and you could meet a lot of people. And you would talk to them and get different opinions and share ideas and stuff. Now that information is websites and web pages and social media. Yeah? And we don't know who these people are and where they are and why they're doing what they're doing. As I said to somebody last week, somebody sent me to a Wikipedia page. As I said, read this page, and I read it, and I know that it was not true. I know it was not true. Yeah. And I said to the person, "Do you know who wrote this? Do you know who wrote this? Do you know? Tell me about who wrote this, because this is
it's important who wrote it.
Yeah, because everybody's got a different perspective, right? Everybody's got a different perspective, like and people like different things, and it changes how they write. So, do you know who wrote this? No. Well, then how do you know it's true? If you don't know, and Wikipedia is like anonymous, right? You don't know who wrote which part, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so you read it, you believe it, but you don't know who wrote it.
Yes, I understand.
You don't know why they wrote it. That's dangerous, because at the beginning it's easy. It's really easy. You click a button, you open a page, you read it. It's really easy. But when you stop and you think about it, and you think about the logic, you can only trust someone that you know. You don't need to meet the person, but you need to know a lot of information about the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't know the source of the information,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and if the source is
Mm-hmm.
maybe political in one way or another, because political parties want power and control, and so the left wants you to think that the right is bad, and the right wants you to think that the left is bad.
Yeah.
And so they will try to, there are newspapers for the left and newspapers for the right, and television programs for the left and television programs for the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to know the origin, the source. This is my problem with the news on TV.
Yes.
It's like, who wrote it? Who wrote it? Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows who wrote it. It's, and I cross my fingers and I hope that it's true. Okay.
Yeah.
But really, we don't know.